Okay, so today we'll talk about fish farming, just to give an overview on fish farming and some of the food trainings that we'll be offering in fish farming. So just for the sake of those that will be watching on YouTube, Better World Innovation is the mother organization, and all the trainings are offered under Innovation Training Institute, which is mandated with all the trainings. So Better World Innovations is located in 10 miles, and it's under Chivombo district. It's basically in Central Province. So like I said, all the trainings are offered under Innovation Training Institute, which has a business mandate to conduct the trainings. And today, basically, we'll talk about fish farming. And why we are talking about catfish farming is because we are trying to adapt to climate stresses. So catfish are the type of fish that are more resilient to drought. They are easy to manage, and as well as also they are very profitable, especially in the neighboring countries, including Zambia itself. So today's discussion will talk about this catfish, because from the business marketing and review, it has shown that catfish, once you have enough capital, it's usually very profitable. And also it's easy to adapt to the climate stresses that we are currently witnessing. So I've spoken about climate smart agriculture. For the sake of others, just to remind you that we are looking at transforming and reorienting the agriculture sector so that we can adapt or respond to the realities of climate change, which we are currently experiencing. So climate smart agriculture has got 3 pillars. Basically, it wants to achieve sustainable food production, which has increased yield. It also wants to talk about enhancing resilience or building the food systems so that they are adaptive to the stresses. And then the last part of it, of course, is mitigation, where whatever we do as we are farming, we try as much as possible to reduce on the carbon emissions so that we reduce on what we are experiencing, the global warming. So basically, climate smart agriculture is a model that enhances to achieve a national food security and most of those sustainable development goals. So basically, this is just the production cycle of catfish, just like other fish. You have to do from hatchery, and if you are a farmer that is not involved in hatchery, basically you just buy the fingerlings and you stock them in a fish pond, depending with the type of a fish pond system that you're using. And we'll talk about those fish ponds as we discuss today. And then once the fish have grown in about 5 to 6 months, then you can plan your harvesting. And if you are harvesting, of course, you're going to harvest the fresh fish. So you harvest and you can choose the type of value chain activity that you are going to do. You can dry them. And if the drying place is just within the farm, it's easy to manage the fish from going bad. But if you have to transport from your fish ponds to a different location, it means also you have to plan about the cold chain. So basically, that is the cycle that is involved in catfish. So just to give a quick background is that in the region, so Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, and the Congo DR, we have got a market deficit of 200,000 metric tons of fish. So the market is very huge. And in Zambia alone, we have got 45,000 metric ton in terms of fish deficit. So this we are still importing mostly from China. So in terms of the market is there. And once you have planned well your catfish farming, you can meet this market and it can be a very profitable venture for you. So just to talk that with the modern mechanization in agriculture, there are a lot of options for you to engage in fish farming or catfish farming. You can use the fish tanks like those that are showing. Basically, these you have to import them from other country, and the country that I would recall. Okay. So we are cut by the poor internet. Yeah, so basically I was talking about the market. The market caps are huge in the Southern African region or in SADC and as well as COMESA. In Zambia, we have got a market deficit of 45,000 metric tons of fish. So the market for fish is huge. So you can come in as a venture and try to contribute or to reduce that deficit. So one of the methods that you can engage in catfish farming is using the fish tanks. And I was saying these fish tanks can be imported. Mostly we have got India and China supplying these very cheap fish tanks that you can basically just install even in a small yard, even just in residential areas, and you can engage yourself into catfish farming. But if you want to do this at a large scale, of course, you need a bigger land where you can do a lot of, you can stock a lot of fish so that your harvest is adequate for you to make some profit. And then the other method is where also you can buy the plastic fish tanks, and then you can use an indoor type of a method. And these fish tanks, you have to import them from outside. These can be as huge as a swimming pool. Some of them can be even 30 by 45 meters. So these are huge. And most of the people that engage in this type of fishing, they do an indoor type of fishing where you construct. It might not be like a modern facility or structure. You can even do a basic structure. So basically you just do an indoor where you install your fish tanks in a place, and you can do your fishing in those fish tanks. The other type is where you want to engage in a large scale catfish farming. And this type of catfish farming, mostly you need to be a medium or large scale type of a farmer. And it's quite capital intensive. And for this, you need to engage a company to construct for you these large scale fish tanks. So basically this one, you need to have a lot of capital and you need to have a bigger land. It can be a small holding farm or a large farm where you can install these large fish tanks. And for this type of farming, like I said, is you need to have enough money because even the stocking levels are high. The management is more demanding. The input are more higher. You need more money for feed. And as well as when you are harvesting also, you need to plan for the cold chain. So you need to have a transportation system that can help you to transport to your market or to a place where you want to do a value chain addition. So also we have got the deep sea or large scale fish farming. And in this one, you use the fish cage. And the fish cage, in terms of Zambia, I've seen this type of farming method in Kariba and as well as in the Western Province, where they have got large water bodies. And you can buy this cage It is also capital intensive, and you can install it within the water body. So you don't have to worry about the water. The water can change itself as it is moving down the stream or down the lake. And then all you have to do is just to manage your cage in terms of feeding the fish, in terms of managing the predators, and other type of management. So this one is a large scale as well, and you can use this when you are staying near a water body that is large. So also it depends on the type of a cage, the size that you want to buy, and the type of fish that you want to stock. And that information can be available to you when you consult the fish farming expertise. This type of farming, like I've said, I've seen it in Kariba. There are some small older farmers that have been given this type of cages where they have just installed it within the water bodies, and they are engaged in fish farming using this method. And recently we witnessed some of those groups harvesting fish from this type of farming system. So this one, basically it's also on large scale. I won't talk so much about this because on the next slide, I think it's more clear. On this slide, we call this the less waste fish farming method, where you can recycle the water within your fish farming system. You can have what they call the terraces, where you construct your fish pond according to the gradient of your land. And you can also plan on the sizes of the fish pond that you want to have. So this uses the terraces because the water can be released from up the stream, and it goes down the stream, going into different fish ponds down the stream. And this is why it's called a less waste fish farming. All you have to plan for is that the fish from one pond doesn't spill over to the next pond. So there is a way of designing this type of fish farming system. And when you consult expertise, also they can help you to design this type of a fish farming system. This one is the concrete fish ponds are more recent. These have been seen in recent fish farming. And these are constructed just basically on a land. It might be a residential place if you have got a big land, or it might be at a farm. Basically, you are using the concrete to construct the fish pond, and the expertise also will help you to design those fish ponds. And all you need to know is that also it is capital intensive because you have to spend a lot of money at the initial stage for you to invest in constructing this type of a fish pond. It's good because it is more sustainable. It stays for a long time, as long as the design was well planned. So this type of fish farming method has also come in many countries, including Zambia. So you can also adopt this type of fish farming if you have got resources that are available to invest. So the things that you need to plan as you want to engage or want to consider going into fish farming, we look at 4 things. What are the available resources? So what resources do you have in terms of capital? Are you financing it yourself? Do you have enough resources, and which method best suits for you? Because basically fish farming at all levels needs a bit of capital for you to venture into that type of a business. So you need to have enough capital. You need to engage expertise that can do a BOQ or cost of the entire project. Basically, you just need to develop a business plan, and the business plan will be able also to cost your fish farming and how much it's going to cost, what initial capital do you need. And if you have got that capital, so also you need to plan about the construction, if you're going to use a fish tank, the purchase of a fish tank, how are you going to install it, and the water system, do you have enough water at your farm? Because you need to have adequate water to supply your fish farm, basically. And then apart from that, also you need to have money for the caretaker or the person that is going to manage. And if yourself is going to manage this type of farming, it means this needs to be a full-time job for you. So all that has to be planned. And then also you plan the feed and all the apparatus that might be needed during your fish farming for the next 5 to 6 months. So one of the things that you need to know is that once you stock your fish and you are feeding it, if your management is not very good, you might experience where the fish is not growing at a pace or at a pace that is expected, and you find that down the line, by the time you are in 5 months, your fish is not as big as it is expected. And then the other thing also, if you run out of feed or money for feed, it is advisable that you harvest your fish as quick as possible and sell it. So you need to find the market if you're running out of feed or you have run out of money for feed so that you can sell. Otherwise, beyond that, you are likely to make a loss, and that will be bad for your business. So in terms of capital, it is very important that you plan the capital. If you are going to borrow that money, you borrow enough money. If you are going to use your savings, or if you are going to go into partnership with other people, also you need to plan in terms of having adequate resources to venture into this type of farming. Then the next part also, which is very important, is the fish farming management itself. So you have to manage your fish farm in terms of the predators, in terms of theft, in terms of the diseases, in terms of how you are feeding the fish, in terms of oxygen levels management. So there are a lot of management that goes into fish farming, and this you need to have someone that has been trained, or if it is yourself, you need to be trained in how to manage all the components that I've mentioned so that your business becomes viable. Remember, this is a business, and for every business, you have to put in and you have to manage that business if you have to make or realize profits. So Better World Innovations would come in to help you in terms of managing your farm or managing your fish. So that's where we come in if you need those type of expertise. Now, once you have stocked your fish and you are managing, and down the line, 5 months to 6 months, when you are preparing to harvesting, and you have got fish that is mostly above 1.5 kg or to 2 kg, even above, depending with the quality of feed and the quality of management that you have put in, you also need to plan about harvesting. So when do you harvest? Before you're harvesting, you need to make sure that all the logistics have been put in place. Like I said, if you are going to transport fresh fish from your ponds to the point of sale, you need to plan about your cold chain. Do you have a truck or a transporting vessel that has running a cold chain so that you maintain the quality and the state of a fish to the point of sale? The other thing that I've seen also people making a mistake in fish farming is where you go and compromise in terms of a transporting vessel. Maybe you get a transporting vessel that is not load worthy, and on the way you have a breakdown, and the fish or your product goes bad. I've seen that happening, and people losing the entire capital through such a scenario. So you need to plan, get a very good transporting vessel. It might be a bit costly, but it is good for your risk management plan. And also, if it is necessary, also have plan B. Plan B is that have someone that is on standby in case you have a breakdown. There's someone that you can easily call and transport your fish. But if you are doing a value addition chain within the fish farm, a yard or fish farm, you can easily transport, plan your harvesting. Harvesting time is very important, the time that you harvest your fish, and then how you take to the plant where you are doing value addition. Like for catfish, it's very profitable if you smoke this. And once you smoke it, you can even export it to other countries, such as Democratic Republic of Congo, where the market is huge as well. So if you are doing that, also you need to plan, you need to have smoking equipment on the site, or you need to have enough human resource to do that, so that you manage your fish quality before it is completely smoked and dried. So basically about harvesting and logistics, that is what I can say in a nutshell. And then the last thing is the market. When I say the market, I'm talking about two things: a ready market or a ready buyer, and the price, meaning the price that is economically viable to you, where you're going to make a profit. So you need to negotiate the price, or you need to know the price at which you are going to sell your fish, and you need to do the maths. And if you have done your maths or your calculations, then you need to know that you are going to make a profit, and all your overhead costs will be covered, and as well as your margin on top of your revenue. And then once you have done that, and you would have sold your fish, and I'm sure the moment you sell your fish, the thing that you want to do is to quickly also stock and start the process again. So the cycle starts once again. And if you have done your investment, you have got a capital investment on the site or on the farm, what you just now invest in is just the fingerlings, the human labor cost, and then also the input that you go into your feeding of a fish and other related management. So basically for today, this is what I will talk about. We'll go into details in future sessions. But if you need more details, feel free to reach out to the team at Better World Innovations. They will be able to help you, and you can do consultancy around fish farming. So for now, I think this is where I'll end. I know there's just one person here, so I will not ask for questions. I think questions can be asked even under YouTube. You can send your comments if you've got any comments. You have got areas that where you want us to cover more. Do that, and don't forget to like, to subscribe to our channel, and also as well as like us, so that we can give you more content. Until then, thank you very much for this short presentation.
Thank you very much, sir, for the presentation.
You are welcome, Harriet, and have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.